What's up, motorists? Today we are looking at a newcomer to our little island, but this is a newcomer that's aiming to make a big splash. This is the all-new JMEV ELIGHT. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of all our future uploads. So the name JMEV or JMEV is going to be new to pretty much all of you. It was new to me. But the parent company behind JMEV is this company called JMCG, which is a Chinese name I shall not attempt to say now. That Chinese company is one of the largest state-owned manufacturers in China that have had over 50 years of car making experience. So they're not a newcomer to the industry, just a newcomer to our shores. And this is the face of the car that they're using to try and break into the Singapore market. So up at the front you can see this is actually very strongly styled. It's got distinctive features like this boomerang style daytime running light cluster, as well as good features like your matrix LED headlights offered as standard. Now this color, I think while we're up here I'm going to talk about it. This is Future Cyan. Now personally, I don't think I would spec this color. They do come in a bunch of other colors, but this color, especially with this front end, gives it a very distinctive look. So along the side, the first thing I want to point out are these tires and rims. So 17 inches as standard with Michelin tires wrapped around them, which is a nice addition. And I think my favorite feature on the outside of this car is the keyless entry. So now the car is unlocked. All I have to do, the keys in my pocket, just walk away from the car and the car will lock itself, like so. And then when I'm done with whatever I need to do, all I have to do is walk back to the car, key is still in my pocket, the car unlocks and is ready for me to jump in. Now, moving on, we can see this sloped back roof. Now this is what JMEV call the sports coupe styling, which is, as the Chinese say, very liu xing, very trendy nowadays in cars. Now you might be concerned that this eats into the rear headroom, but as I'll show you later on, there's nothing to be worried about. Now here at the back we can see a continuation of that design language for the headlight cluster. Here in the tail lights we can see the same boomerang style tail light design, and of course we have the boot. Now 410 litres of storage capacity in the JMEV ELIGHT, which is, as I'm about to show you, still enough to get me all the way in. So here we are in the back seats of the JMEV ELIGHT, and remember when I said the sloped roof in this sports coupe styling doesn't affect the headroom? Well, here it is, 1.8 meters tall, and as you can see there is still enough gap between my head and the panoramic sunroof. I also get generous legroom from the seats in front and a mostly flat floor. There's just a hint of a hump here in the middle, but definitely nothing like what you'd get on an ICE car or in some other EVs. Now ahead of the hump you've got your two aircon vents for the rear passengers, as well as a USB charging port down there and a little bit of cubby storage just in that little nook. Now up here we have comfortable leather seats with ISOFIX anchor points on both sides so you can put your child seats in, and of course you have your center armrest and cup holder arrangement, which is always a plus point to have. So here we are now in the front seat of the JMEV ELIGHT, and it is a fairly comfortable place to sit. I've got a nice high driving position so I can see out over my dashboard and my front fender really easily. I've got my multifunction steering wheel with controls for the infotainment system, the digital gauge cluster, as well as my cruise control settings behind here. Now, here in this main screen, 14.6 inches this screen is, it's huge. And the right side is actually reserved for the aircon controls, as well as some quick toggles for your media controls and some of the other car functions down here. So there's a permanent place for your mostly used buttons. But there is also actually a physical version of the aircon controls down here. So if you prefer the touchscreen, it's there, it's a bit closer to you, but you also have a physical version within easy reach for changing stuff like your aircon temperature, fan speed, and of course all of the other stuff like window defrost and whatnot. Now, just beyond that, we have a bit of cubby storage where you put your phone. You got a 12-volt power outlet as well as a USB port here, and of course this closes to make it all nice and sleek. Here we have more cubby storage, as well as cubby storage under the armrest, which is ventilated a little bit by your air conditioning system. So all in all, this is a functional interior for sure, and all that's left to do now is see how she drives. So here we are in the JMEV ELIGHT, one of the first few people in Singapore to be trying out this car on the roads. And my first impressions, as I've had over the last few days, are it's fine. So let's begin with some numbers. 145 horsepower, 225 newton meters of torque, 0 to 100, 8.9 seconds, not half bad. And all of this with the Cat A COE bracket, which makes this one of the most affordable new cars you can get in Singapore today, which is a big selling point for this car, by the way. The other big selling point of this car, the range. Now this has a 63 kilowatt hour battery, so not especially large, but this is claimed to be able to go up to 600 km on a full charge. And in my testing experience, that claim is not far off. I've got 38% battery left and more than 200 km of range remaining. So on a full charge, this, with my driving, which we all know is slightly heavy-footed, I can still easily do 400 easy, 500 I don't think it's going to be a problem. And with some more mindful driving, I could easily average over 500 km on a full charge with no issue. Now this car can also of course recharge with a DC fast charger from 30 to 80% in only about 20 to 30 minutes. So your downtime is not going to be long as well. So you can put the charging anxiety out of your mind for now. Now moving back to the dynamics of the ELIGHT, well, this is fine. It drives as you expect a modern car should. The steering is light and the car is easy to maneuver. There's also a 360-degree camera for making tight maneuvers easy, or when you're parking. And might I add that this 360-degree camera is one of the brightest and clearest that I've seen on any new car. Now acceleration-wise, this is of course a Cat A COE car, so it's not especially powerful or especially fast, but it is like any other self-respecting EV. It is decently sprightly, especially when it comes to merging into traffic or getting on ramps or moving around town, because there's a healthy amount of torque, and especially from 0 to 35, 0 to 40, it is quite quick off the line. 8.9 seconds, 0 to 100 for a Cat A car really isn't half bad at all. And driving it, I mean, the ride quality really is nothing to complain about. It's comfortable. It doesn't bump me around too much. It doesn't jostle me around. It's not hard on my back. It's a nice, easy place to be. And if I want to let the car take over, for example, if I'm in the KPE and I just want to relax a bit, I'm tired, just press the button, the KPE button, let's call it, and the car will keep myself at 80 kph or whatever speed I want, and I can relax. So the ELIGHT might not be the flashiest car on the market today. I think that's totally fine, because what it does have is a great value proposition. You don't miss out on any of the essentials that you should be getting in a modern car. It's still safe, it still drives well, and it's got good range. And I think people who are looking for value more than anything else, which a lot of Singaporeans are, and they're not especially brand conscious, this might be a good bet. So if you're in the market for something fresh and you value above all else, then perhaps the JMEV ELIGHT is something you should consider. It's got all the features you need at a very attractive price point. So maybe this might be what delights you. Thank you very much for watching this episode of mReview. As always, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.
Motorist